So now we move on to the Choral Award, and the nominations in this category are Mouton choral works, including the Missa dicte Moi toutes vos pensées, sung by the Tallis Scholars, conducted by Peter Phillips, and that's on the Gimel label. Brahms's works for chorus and orchestra on the Fee label, performed by mezzo-soprano Anne Hallenberg with the Collegium Vocal Ghent and the Orchestre des Champs-Élysées, conducted by Philippe Herreweghe. And Elgar's oratorio, The Apostles, featuring soloists Rebecca Evans, Alice Coote, Jacques Imbrelo, and more with the Hallé Orchestra, Hallé Youth Choir, and Hallé Choir under Sir Mark Elder, and that's on the Hallé's own label.
Well, with the combined forces of a great orchestra and choirs, plural, dedicated soloists, and a conductor who has unreserved passion for the work and great dedication to it, the imagination, originality, and, of course, radiant beauty of this springs out. The winner, you may have guessed, is Sir Mark Elder and the Hallé Orchestra and Choir's recording of Elgar's oratorio, The Apostles.
And please welcome Sir Mark Elder along with tenor Jacques Imbrelo, who sung the part of Jesus, to collect the award.
Ladies and gentlemen, this wonderful singer on my left is a baritone. It may be that some of you are familiar with the Apostles, and it may be that some of you aren't. I have the feeling that this work has been in a bit of a lay-by over the years for Elgar, and it may be that's the reason why it's taken so long for us all to get to it. And I was very apprehensive about agreeing to do it. I wasn't at all sure how it worked and how one could make sense of it. As you perhaps already know, it is his largest work by quite a long way. It's written for a very large number of performers, more soloists, bigger budget, more time. It's longer than any of his other works. And it seems to me that the reason that if this performance seems to have caught fire and caught everybody's attention, which I'm completely thrilled about, it's probably because Elgar himself, I'm sure, didn't want it to be too pious. He was a man, as you know, who questioned his own faith right at the time that he wrote this work. He was very concerned not to be too Roman Catholic, as he had been denounced for being when he wrote Gerontius, and he wanted to write something more Anglican, but he didn't mean it to be performed in what we would now refer to in this very non-religious society as a too Anglican way. And I think that it is, the experience of doing it makes me feel that it's the nearest thing we have of his to an opera. It's extraordinarily vivid work, and the way he constructed it is extraordinary because it's unlike anything else he did. It feels like a film, cutting from one scene to another, and the events that it describes and the emotional journey that we all have to go on is very, very remarkable and heroic. And I think that my wonderful orchestra up there in that far-off land where sometimes the BBC send their people, Manchester, it's nice, you know, it's nice. We'll be really thrilled at this news. And one of the greatest measures of its success, and I think the atmosphere in its performance, came from the gentleman on my left. To be asked to portray Christ in any dramatic undertaking is daunting for most of us. But there was some penetrating simplicity in the way Jacques delivered the role of Christ that I thought made an impact on the whole evening. And I think it was a quite remarkable achievement. And I'm delighted to introduce him to you all here. He's one of our most distinguished young baritones, and I'd love it, Jacques, if you can just say a few words, perhaps.
All I can say is that it's such a tremendous pleasure and privilege to do something, work on a project like this with Sir Mark Elder. He has tremendous faith in me for some reason, and it was just a great, great pleasure to learn from him. He brings a tremendous amount of experience to every project. You sort of turn up having done all your reading work and research about a piece, and then you turn up and realize you know absolutely nothing about it. Which is both intimidating and extremely exciting, and which is why it's always such a great learning curve working with Sir Mark, and what a great privilege.